Hi everyone, welcome back to our devotion time. So today is April 10th, and our devotion is God's timing from Romans 8:24 and 25. We are saved by trusting, and trusting means looking forward to getting something we don't yet have. For a man who already has something doesn't need to hope and trust that he will get it. But if we must keep trusting God for something that hasn't happened yet, it teaches us to wait patiently and confidently. It's hard to wait for, well, anything. We can have almost anything we want immediately. Sometimes even waiting longer than 2 days to receive our order in the mail seems way too long. We can gain some great perspective when we think about how life was lived hundreds or even thousands of years ago. Mail took months to travel, items were all made to order, and food was only delivered to your doorway if it accompanied out-of-town guests. We have become pretty impatient, haven't we? It's hard to wait for God's timing, even when we are waiting for good things. We think we shouldn't have to wait for long. Going on a missions trip, starting a job in ministry, leading a small group, marrying the right person, doesn't God want those things for us sooner rather than later? Trusting in God's timing means you believe that God won't let an opportunity slip by unless it's not one he wants you to experience. Oh, that's very true. Satan will come in and he will bring counterfeits in our lives to speed up our process. He did that with Sarah and Abraham when Ishmael came along. Sarah was impatient. She couldn't wait any longer. She knew she had to give Abraham a child. And so she gave her handmaiden, Hagar, to Abraham. Well, she blew it. She totally blew it because, they were not meant to have Ishmael as the firstborn. It was meant to be Isaac. But the Lord knew. He knew what she would do, and he knew that she would blow it, but he still brought the promised child in the timing that he was supposed to come. We talked about this either last week or the week before. I really believe that God's timing is not at least for me, whenever I've heard that phrase, I've thought, God's picked a time for this to happen. But I really believe that God's timing involves situations and time frames and the will of others and the situation to be fulfilled, and that everything has come to pass that needed to come to pass in that given situation to bring about what you're believing God for. And that's why, sometimes things happen quickly for some or slower for others. There's an ebb and a flow in the spirit realm that I don't think human beings can understand because we can't see into the future. And so we don't know what obstacles are there. We don't know what God is dealing with. It's like Daniel prayed and the angel came. And it says that the angel came 3 weeks after Daniel began to pray. But when the angel got to Daniel, I believe it was Michael, when he got to Daniel, he said, I was stopped over thus and such land by the enemy and had to do warfare to get through to get to you. But your prayer was heard the moment you spoke. Okay? That's in the book of Daniel. Don't want to say the wrong chapter, so I'm not going to say it. But anyway, he was praying over the land and asking God for a specific thing, and he prayed on it for 3 weeks. Did not hear the answer right away, but God heard the prayer right away and sent and dispatched the angel Michael to deal with it right away. But Michael got stopped in the spirit realm by Satan and his minions, and he had to do warfare to get past them. Okay? What does that tell us? That tells us that God's timing, he wants to answer our prayers, especially if that is a prayer that is a yes, that he has an answer, or if he wants to tell us no. But sometimes there's warfare in the heavenlies. There's things going on that we can't see. There's situations obstructing, the answer to that prayer. And God knows when it will come to pass. So let's learn to have patience with the Lord. Let's learn to praise him during the time of waiting. Let's learn to get busy helping others and reaching out away from ourselves and away from our situation while we wait for the answer, and distract